All right, welcome everybody. Episode number 10. Can you believe it? We made it double digits, man. Double digits.
10 episodes.
I know. We are Ty Dillinger tonight. 10.
That's right.
10.
Yes.
10. All right, welcome everybody. I'm the Dirty Bird. I am your heel host. That guy over there, Primo Silver Fox, my co-host. Welcome, sir. He's also the reigning,
defending, sit down Marks champion. Make sure to acknowledge me. Thank you.
Are you going to hire somebody to come and hand you the trophy like Paul does the belt with Roman?
Yeah. I'll just hold my hand out.
Yeah.
You need some
I need I also need a Ricardo Rodriguez to be like,
right, yeah. Personal announcer. All right, also with us on the show tonight, babyface Mark from the mean streets of Chicago. AJ, welcome, brother.
Oh no, I forgot to do my hood. Wait, hold on.
Oh wait, yeah, do it.
It's too
Wait, here, let me do it over. All right, ready? Here we go. All right. Also, my co-host tonight from the mean streets of Chicago. Everybody, welcome AJ. Woo!
That was so not worth it.
it was
okay.
It was a bunch of wasted effort.
It was a good shot. All right, our guest tonight. Let's talk about this guy, man. I have talked a lot of wrestling with this guy over maybe a few beers that I might have served him along the way, possibly. You know, don't tell anybody. But welcome, Michael, to the show. Michael, welcome, brother.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of wrestling to talk about, so we had to bring in an extra guy to take on some of the role here. All right,
Michael.
You're going to be Michael.
Oh, Michael. Fired up early. Jet Dryer's got the sound alerts going. Let's talk about our sponsors tonight, man. Rowdy Energy. I'm going with the strawberry lemonade, boys. What you got tonight?
Same. Strawberry. It's got the green apple. That's a good one.
All right.
Cherry limeade.
Yeah, that's my favorite flavor, too. I like that strawberry lemonade, man. Get you a little pucker right here when you drink it.
For sure.
All right, but let's talk about our other sponsor, Coastland Apparel. Go to www.coastlandapparel.com. Use that promo code BirdTV for 15% off. AJ is down there rocking the new shirts they just dropped not long ago. I'm got the hat on, the old fishing hat there. Primo's got his on. Michael will get his sooner or later. So we welcome these guys tonight for sponsoring the podcast. First of all, I want to say that all of our pods now are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. So as soon as this one's over, we're going to get it downloaded, and you can have us in your ears all day long, making bad impressions and doing Cesaro impressions that you can't see, but you can hear.
I wish we had a noise for our Cesaro arms, because it's probably just like some random, like everything goes quiet for a second. We're all doing the Cesaro.
I need to look that up on the internet. Sound Cesaro makes when he, I don't know. Yeah,
it's pew pew. That's the worst thing that could happen right there. I just did it. I apologize.
It's okay. I had 5 bad impressions last week, so
6.
We'll see. But welcome everybody to the chat over there. Jet Dryer's here early. Klepto Crab, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, man. It's going to be a fun episode as we get rolling here. Looks like Michael might be freezing in and out, but we'll keep rolling. So, all right, Primo, talk to us this day in wrestling and birthdays, man. What you got for us?
Yes, sir. May 19th, this day in wrestling history. 1991, WCW held its first ever Super Brawl. The main event, Ric Flair defeats Tatsumi Fujinami in the main event for the NWA World Heavyweight title.
Nice. He defeated him for the NWA World Heavyweight title?
Yeah, he defeated it. Well, he retained it.
He retained it, okay. Nice.
2006. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I always like to hear, like, when times that Flair won the belt, you know, they say it's 17 times, but it's really 117 times. So. Yeah.
2006. Who remembers May 19th? Don't say that. The movie See No Evil with Kane was released.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They ran a whole angle on this. Every time somebody said May 19th, he'd choke them out. So that was, I had to put that in there. This one right here.
They should have did that instead of the zombies. I'm saying they should have did that instead of the zombies.
See, I think we should just stay away from movie tie-ins altogether.
I feel you. Yeah. This one right here, I put it in here especially for Dirty. Right. 2007. AAW had defining moment 2007. Names on the card including Christian York, Truth Martini, Jerry Lynn, and Tyler Black. The main event was Jerry Lynn defeating Merrick Brave for the AAW Heavyweight Championship.
Nice. Yep.
That sure sounds fantastic.
Tyler Black, you know who Tyler Black is, right?
Yeah, well.
We all know who that is. All right, just make sure. He was the champion.
Do we know who Jerry Lynn is?
That's another good question.
Yeah, I know who Jerry Lynn is. Yeah.
Jerry Lynn is putting matches together in AEW right now. We're loving it.
Yes.
So my final one that I had to put in here, we are going to talk about this later on tonight. Actually, 2018 IWA Mid-South held the King of the Deathmatch 2018 with Nick Gage winning the tournament at the House of Horrors match to retain that heavyweight championship he won earlier in the tournament.
Wow, man.
Crazy man, Nick Gage.
MDK.
So that actually happened. One of those House of Horrors matches he was in to get that championship happened on this day, just a few years ago, actually.
Nice.
Birthdays on this day. We have 1992, Kip Sabian.
Ooh,
1992.
For a while, man.
Yeah, I know. 1986, Danny Havoc.
Danny Havoc.
1985, Aleister Black.
Ooh.
Oh my God, Aleister Black.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was like 47 years old.
And 1946. Any guesses? Long time ago.
Harley Race.
Okay, so I didn't mean to cheat, but I cheated.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
You got it.
Yes.
Andre the Giant.
Yes. Love it. Would you like to have some peanuts?
And that is this day in wrestling history.
Nice, man. That was a good one, man. I can't wait to talk about the Nick Gage thing. Man, that is sweet, man. Nice pull there, AJ. Good pull.
Nice.
I
can't believe I had that with me. I brought it down here specifically for the show, and then it just so happened to be his birthday today, and I was like,
you know what happens, AJ, when you interrupt my birthday segment?
Primo, you're gonna get.
I love it.
Oh my God, y'all killing me, man. Y'all killing me.
Don't do no wrong.
Oh my God, I know. All right, let's try to keep this thing going. So let's talk about the show today, man. We got a ton of things to cover. As on top of our regular wrestling, we got 2 pay-per-views. Impact had a pay-per-view, and WrestleMania Zombie Backlash happened on Sunday night. So, but let's talk about some things coming up. So we got some new stickers coming, guys. So hang tight, man. Probably next pod, I'll be able to show you guys those, man, and I'll be able to give some of those away. Anybody that wants those. So, but once again, I want to say, man, if you're not watching us right now, you can catch all our episodes on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. So,
that's going to become a mouthful.
Oh, I know it is. Yeah. Well, like it's on the screen, I can always read it.
Yeah.
So. All right, so let's get rolling, man, with this big, huge night of recaps. AJ's going to get us started off with AEW last Wednesday. Let's roll, baby.
So AEW last Wednesday could have been pay-per-view number 3 that we had this week. It's just a regular episode of Dynamite, but wow, was it fantastic. First of all, they were in an outside venue, which was great. There were fans in the seats. I think they were where the Jaguars play, or Jaguars if you want to be fancy and British. But it was nice seeing him outside. So the show kicks off with Jon Moxley versus Yuji Nagata for the IWGP United States title. Yuji Nagata, who has got to be 100 years old, looks fantastic.
Oh yeah,
he can move. He's sprightly, like wonderful.
Honestly, I thought Mox was dropping it here. I really did. I thought Mox was dropping it here. I thought he was. Yeah. I thought it was.
To bring in Nagata like that?
Well, I kind of thought to bring in Nagata, put the title on him, and let him go back to Japan. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
See, I'm hoping it'll set up some sort of more collaboration between AEW and New Japan, because this match was great.
Right.
So it was stiff. Lots of stiff knees, lots of stiff elbows. Moxley gets busted open at one point in time. The end came a little bit quickly for me. Like I would have liked to see these guys go another 5 minutes. It was about a 10-minute match, but the end came when Moxley hit the paradigm shift, got the 1, 2, 3, and afterwards his music plays again, which the Trogs Wild Thing, that's new. Like I was not expecting that at all.
Right? Yeah.
I was hoping you'd bring that up.
And then I'll get to licensed music later on in the show. But then after the match, there was a great show of respect. I'm a mark for that kind of thing. Moxley bows to Nagata, and they had this great moment, and overall it was kind of fantastic.
Yeah, and this is the difference over there. You bow like Moxley bowed. That's the ultimate appreciation. Not just to kind of bend it over. You go all the way down. You put your forehead on the mat.
All the way down.
Yeah, forehead goes on the mat. That's how the ultimate appreciation. So yeah, I love seeing that, man. I mean,
me too.
I'm all about New Japan coming into USA promotions all day. Bring it.
Yep. More of this, please.
Moxley seems like one of those guys who just gets it. Does that make any sense? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure. And I feel like too, and I'm gonna kind of look forward to this. If you watch the Nick Gage biography on Dark Side of the Ring, Mox is there, and you kind of see a different side of Mox. Almost like he gets it, but the love of the sport is why and how he gets it, and he gets, you know what I mean? And and I feel like there's a lot of guys that may not, be on that level, because, like the first time I seen Moxley wrestle was probably in front of 20 people, and the dude walked out in a bloodbath, and probably made a hot dog that night, you know what I mean? So, like those, to see those guys like that, and then where they are now, like that's love, man. That's appreciation, and I always feel like too, the guys that go over to New Japan, that's a long way to go to improve your craft. So that takes dedication. So like for me, when I hear a wrestler went over there and wrestle and to learn, and learn styles and stuff like that and come back, that says to me that they're all in and they really want to dig in. So that's where I get Michael from, like what you saying, Moxley just gets it. He just, he does.
You know what makes me mad about Moxley?
Exactly what you said, because he started in CZW, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
CZW.
Yep.
Craziness.
That's where I've seen him, yeah.
The more and more I see Moxley in AEW, the angrier I get at WWE for how they booked him as Dean Ambrose. With his wacky line and just terrible.
Squirting people with mustard and stuff. And
he had a plant.
They had it coming.
He had a plant.
He did have a plant. But that was when he was in a feud with Jericho, so that was fine.
Right.
The plant was fine. Where? Oh, up next, AEW.
Sorry. Yeah.
So up next is an Inner Circle promo that I really didn't like. It was, who was it? Ortiz, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara, which, they talked about how the Pinnacle was going to have their coronation, and Sammy Guevara was like, "Nah, we're going to put you in the ground," and it was a really stupid promo. I didn't like it at all. Like the first two were just like shouty, but not in a good way, and then
Right? Yeah.
Guevara being like, "Man, in the ground, Barry." Don't say that. It's silly.
Spot on impression.
I know, right?
It was.
Sammy Guevara. Apparently, he's like an old timey gangster. Put you in the ground. Say, what am I saying? So there was that. So up next, Cody Rhodes comes out, and so this was a very America type promo. Where he's like, I love me some red, white, and stripes, and
It was one of those like USA type.
yeah, which it really had. But it was still great because Cody Rhodes is such a good talker. And I was like, yes, I also love.
I was saying, I'm ready to let's go.
I know, right? Like we need this guy leading our country, man. Like he smells your chest up, makes you want to go to battle, man. Yeah.
Like he kept bringing up like current events that were going on right now, and at one point he got choked up and he was talking about he and Brandy's unborn daughter. Wait, is she unborn?
Yep.
But it was a good promo because Cody Rhodes is great. And then
I don't know what happened between WWE and I mean he hit the Indies for a while and then came to AEW, but it's like night and day for him on the microphone, dude. Night and day.
Well, when you're forced to do promos as Stardust, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Can you imagine if the Son of the Dream was a bad promo? Like, what shame it would bring to the Rhodes name.
Right.
Which actually segues nicely into my my next point, which he made two fantastic, huge announcements. One, Double or Nothing will be in front of full crowd capacity.
Yeah.
Thank God, live wrestling is back. Woo! So now we can all get that off of our thumbs down list because it's on our list every single week.
10 episodes or 9 episodes.
Yes, for 9 episodes. And
Totally.
To Michael's point, he said that in his match against Anthony Ogogo, punching people in the breadbasket, he will be for one night only the American Dream and not the American Nightmare, which I popped way too big for that. I was like,
I liked how he was like, there's only 2 people that could actually do this, and it's me and my brother.
Yeah. Yep.
And my brother. That was it.
Yep. He better have a green elbow pad on. Is all I gotta say.
If he doesn't,
I need black trunks with the DR on the hip. I need the cowboy boots that looks like cowboy boots, not even wrestler boots. That's what I need. Cody
cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I need Cody to gain 200 pounds. I need his muffler to fall out at one point during the match.
Right. He needs to right.
And I need to have brown sugar dancing along next to him. Like I need all these.
Oh yeah. You think he could come out to Common Man do it?
Yeah.
Probably not. WWE probably owns that, so yeah, it's probably
yeah.
But maybe he could come out to one of his old NWA maybe or something. I don't know.
That was long enough
American
ago.
Dream did that. Second most recognizable athlete in the whole entire world.
Just the road.
I dined with kings and queens, baby.
There's one impression.
But yeah, there's one. Yeah.
Dude,
Making
I'm
a tally.
Dusty Rhodes fan. I love Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
One of the all times, if not the greatest. And then on the promos, oh my god.
To me,
he
he's
always had too.
Promo, oh my god.
Oh yeah. To me, he's the baby face. To me, he's the baby face.
Oh yeah.
Michael, you always have. Wait a minute. Not that we know each other.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But
who are you?
Never mind. Moving on.
As you were.
That's it.
AEW, as you were.
So the Young Bucks had a tag team match with SCU, which is of course Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. And before the match, like this is a championship versus SU were going to break up if they lose, which was their own stipulation, which I thought was kind of weird. But before the match,
they had to put up
Daniels. They did, and they knew they weren't going to win, and they had to make it something. So it's basically championship versus career match, kind of. And before the match, there was this nice promo package with Christopher Daniels talking about, you know, how he and Kazarian and the Young Bucks, you know, they traveled together on the Indies, and you know they've been friends for years and years and years. And it was a nice little history before the actual match started.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is the first match. Moxley and Nagata was pay-per-view caliber. This was also a pay-per-view caliber match. And how are the Bucks ever face? They're such good heels.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Never be face again.
They were face because we're making so much freaking money, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Bullet Club, man. Get it all off.
I mean, I get that I'm the face guy, but that was fantastic, Primo.
Watch a lot of El Phantasmo this weekend.
Oh, wonderful. So in this match, Christopher Daniels bleeds. He just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. He gets hoofed in the face, bounces his head off the ring post, and it just gushes. He's out of the match for probably 5 minutes. I'm assuming, like, he was off camera on the ground, so I'm assuming the medical staff came over and were like, "Are you dead?"
Oh, yeah, right,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
Pretty sure that wasn't a planned spot. I don't think that came from bleeding on his forehead.
I don't think so either.
But so I don't care how old SCU are, like they're still fantastic. Young Bucks, obviously. At one point, Matt Jackson, I think he has Kazarian kneeling in the ring, and he does the Shawn Michaels.
Yes,
I love you. I'm sorry, and then fantastic.
It's so funny to me
when mocking nod.
Yeah, no, that's when little things like that happen. I love, like, the reason why I love wrestling, like, just the stupid, like, even that was a whole nother company, a whole nother decade ago. But we all knew exactly what he was talking about when he did it. You know, we all knew. You know, they're like, oh, that was great.
It was. And then, also Kazarian hit the Styles Clash, which was awesome. Like this entire match is just me going like that because it was so awesome.
Yeah, you're like.
I know, like with
they did another thing. They did that.
He did a thing else that I remember other people doing. It was great.
And you're watching this like,
you're right, exactly. I would say I loved watching AEW because I had such a good time watching it, and the whole time I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to take notes on this.
Yeah, a lot of
my notes for this match started like right here, and they end like right here.
Yeah, for that one match.
Still not typing those. So there was one thing that I did not like about this match.
Backlash, and then I got to watch AEW afterwards, and I'm so glad I did it in that order.
That's a good palate cleanser.
Yes, it is.
I don't envy either one of you for having to take notes on either one of those.
Yeah, Lance repeat better.
I don't know. My backlash notes are pretty fantastic. Look, right there.
Is it?
almost got like a picture of a zombie and put it up on the screen tonight for the for the pod, just out of just sheer ridiculousness.
Zombies. We'll get to that nonsense. Okay, so there was something I did not like about this match. So after the finish, I thought it was the right outcome. They cut to the back so quickly that they didn't give SCU kind of the time that they needed in the ring. You know, their tag team is now ending, and they're just like, "Oh, they lost to the back," and then Moxley and Kingston are messing up the dressing room. And I was like, well, let it breathe a little bit. Like, let them stick with them in the ring. Like, it's a cool moment. It's a big moment. And they're just like, nah, back here. And I didn't like that. That bothered me. Match was great.
So, on that very point, I saw later on in the week on the Young Bucks, I think it was their Twitter, they said, we're such heels that we control the camera truck and we told them to cut away before they could show their hug.
That's just great.
Very well, you know, and like, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, well done. That's how you use Twitter. Right there. Yeah.
That's how you get good heel heat right there.
Right.
Well,
great.
That's great.
So up next,
hang on, AJ, one second. I want the next tweet to be like, we're such heels that we call Cracker Barrel and SCU can't go eat there anymore. Like,
they just control the world.
I just wanted to keep going. They're like, oh well, we called SCU's power company. We had their power cut off because.
That's great.
They control every part of SCU's existence.
Let's keep it going.
Oh my god.
We're such heels that we changed Christopher Daniels' name to Lumpy Bumpkin. So that's what he must be from now on. Great.
Good stuff.
So, see, this is why AEW always goes off the rails.
We're all eager to talk. AJ's first. We're all eager to talk. So that's why his segment takes so long. We're sabotaged.
Bunch of lousy drunks.
Oh my god.
So up next. Wait, where am I in my scribble notes? Christian Cage. So I could care less about Christian Cage against Team Taz, but I do like the fact that he said that Taz critiquing his matches has as much credibility as Christian Cage himself critiquing Taz at a buffet table. That's perfect because Taz is a fat turd, and how it should be.
He did call him out on that too. He's saying he's a couple of pounds over being able to back up what he says in the ring.
Yeah, a couple of pounds over being able. It's very polite. Fat Joe Pesci.
Like the stereotypical I clearly used to wrestle body.
Right. Yep.
Unless you're like Edge, who came back just shredded.
Right, yeah. Or like you come out looking like Greg the Hammer, the exact same except he got a huge pot belly. He looks the exact same top to bottom, he's just got a belly like he's pregnant.
The first time Edge came back, I thought he almost looked too lean. I was like,
yeah,
I could see the bones in your face, man.
Yeah.
The
Eat sandwiches, Edge.
Yeah.
Catering, man.
Yeah.
3 sandwiches. You know, speaking of Greg the Hammer Valentine, he was almost on my top 3 favorite feuds of all time. We'll get to that.
Okay. Your HR?
Stupid.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Quiet, you. We don't know each other. So.
Kayfabe, boys. Kayfabe.
Keep kayfabe alive.
What's your name?
I swear to God, what is in this Rowdy today? It's Rowdy Giggly today, not Rowdy Energy, man. I don't even know.
We're not going to get through AEW.
We're not. We'll wrap it up, actually. God,
well, that's it for us, folks.
It's Michael. It's Michael, man. I don't even know. All right.
Yes. I blame this stranger.
Zombies, man. Like.
Yeah, we're going to talk about zombies. That's what we're all here for.
That's like...
All right. Oh, man.
All right.
I'm scared to get to the zombies. So up next in AEW is Orange Cassidy versus Pac. And this is for a shot at Kenny Omega's world title. And this match was scary.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy, he was knocked unconscious. He was just out. So Pac hit him with looked like some sort of thrust kick, and then he was just out. And then for the rest of the match, they're stalling. They cut to commercial break, which I during the commercial break, they do the picture-in-picture. I don't know if you guys get the same commercials that I do, but I got a commercial for a feminine pubic shaver that I was like, that is what I've been missing in my life is a feminine pubic shaver.
Are you,
like, who?
are you streaming? Were you watching it on streaming?
Yeah, I was streaming it.
Okay, yeah, that's why. Yeah. Yeah.
It goes off your search history.
Yeah, there's no rule. Yeah, got him.
I was like, how do they know I was searching for Lady Bits and what have you?
Yeah. TMI, AJ. No,
Lady Bix.
Full disclosure, though, streaming. It's like there's no rules really for these commercials. Like I've seen some stuff and I'm like, what? So I don't think there's many rules on the streaming part. So you never know what you're gonna see. Side note, anyway.
Lots of ads for Cracker Barrel as well. So, anyways,
SCU can't
this is another one. No, they can't. Stupid SCU. Stupid lumpy Bumblekins or whatever his name was. So this match got cut short, obviously, because of the injury. Michael had nothing to do with this. He was like, I hate this, so I'm leaving. It was the same. It was the same outcome. Like the whole time, the goal was to have the triple threat between Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, and Pac. They just had to cut the match, 10 minutes short, and they had to call an audible to bring Kenny Omega out to hit Pac with the title. So it was neither wrestler could answer the 10 count.
Sure.
Scary match a little bit for Orange Cassidy. He's okay though. I read that after the match he was fine. He just got knocked a bit loopy. So that is another match we have to look forward to at Double or Nothing in front of a capacity crowd. Triple threat for the World Championship. Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, and Pac.
I like how go ahead, Derek.
No, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like how Tony Schiavone's like, this, ladies and gentlemen, I've just gotten word, and John Callis and Kenny's like, shh, be quiet. Just like, okay.
John Callis, be quiet.
Where's Double or Nothing going to be? Have they said?
It is going to be in a venue that has full capacity. I have no idea. I think they announced it, but I have no clue.
Okay.
Here's a question for you guys. Can Kenny Omega get through anything without making some goofy face?
Oh no, that's his thing.
Yeah, he's
everything
he's great.
He does, he's got this contorted Jim Carrey thing going on.
One of my favorite things actually this week happened with Kenny Omega, and it was actually on Impact.
Was it
I think it was on Impact. Yeah.
He's really going into the facials, but he did that a lot over New Japan while he was doing the cleaner and all that stuff. He did. It's pretty interesting. So Orange is okay.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orange he's fine. His hands will go back in his pockets at some point.
Bang.
And he needs to be a heel. Again, I'm a face guy, but Orange Cassidy needs to be a heel.
How can you be a heel like that?
Because that whole I'm from wherever, I weigh whatever. Okay, maybe not. I'm kind of talking myself out of my own argument.
Justin Roberts, he's from wherever. And he weighs
whatever. This was technically his first loss in AEW as well. I love the wins and losses, by the way. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah.
So up next, we just have an ice age of backstage segments and promos. So I'm going to go through these very quickly. The Good Brothers and the Young Bucks talk about how next week they're probably going to take on the Varsity Blondes, which kind of looking forward to that match. That'll be cool. Brian Pillman Jr., Up next is Hangman Page and Dark Order giving a promo.
While Hangman's drinking a beer. Just chilling.
Hangman's drinking their beer. And Dark Order in the background just being like,
Evil Uno. I thought it was funny the other day on Twitter, Evil Uno was asking for, like, playlists to work out at.
Yes,
like, hey, dude, come on, man. Like, geez,
I know.
you're supposed to be...
Have a secondary account or something.
Send me your playlist of 80s glam metal. Who knew?
What's
Who
your
knew?
favorite Hall
Evil Uno sweats to the oldies. Yeah.
Sweats to the oldies. Wow. So after that is the Pinnacle coronation, which MJF is wearing a crown, first of all, which, what a great heel. He's just awesome. And they get like these ridiculous watches from Tully Blanchard. And I just thought it was cool to see Tully Blanchard out there on the mic giving them watches. Like, why are you giving them watches?
I feel like at one point he was going to say, like, a specific expensive brand. He's like, when you look down at these watches...
They're like the Timex Walmart special.
Yeah.
He bought all 8 of them for $80.
Right.
They're Velcro strapped.
Bulk pricing.
Why? Just why? Wrestling. So then the Inner Circle comes out in a buggy, I guess it was. And it's supposed to be like a champagne hose thing. And then Jericho pops up and he's got his arm all... Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
I would just like to say
mechanical.
that they bought... well, anyway, I could see Jericho before they even got through there. Like, yeah. Before, you could see him kind of looking, and I was like, oh, Jericho's there.
I missed that.
Yeah.
No, it was great. He was like...
And then he was like, oh, crap, and like moves on.
Bush in front of his face. And his
Yeah. And then, like, once he realizes the camera's looking at him, he, like, ducks in the back of the trailer.
Yeah, he dives back in.
Oh, my God.
Magic.
That is fantastic.
Absolute magic. And it gets even better after that because so MJF challenges them to another match and says that if they lose, they have to break up. So something else to get excited about for Double or Nothing is another Stadium Stampede match, which is just going to be awesome because the first Stadium Stampede match was one of the funniest matches in the history of wrestling.
It was definitely the best match of quarantine, that's for sure.
Oh, by far. Yeah. They took a terrible...
Quarantine wrestling, that's the only thing I'll remember, is that match.
Yep, it's the first Stadium Stampede. But then they have to sell water. Like, the Inner Circle, like, sprays them with a hose, and they're all, like, flopping all over the place.
They recreated the beer bath with water.
Yeah. Yes! And I was like, they have to sell water. I get that it was supposed to be champagne, but that would be a very expensive spot to do.
I always laugh at them how they like run towards the water and then
flop backwards.
Yeah.
Like just step to the side. Like
if they're gonna do like the fire hose spot, you have to be like close to them though. You can't be like
yeah, they were far away. Yeah,
it was very far away.
At that point.
Yeah, right. I don't think they test.
It gets there, it's like
right. I can't stand it here and it falls.
Yeah. It was basically like that scene in Billy Madison where Norm Macdonald is sitting there like spraying that kid just lightly and he's just sitting there like, go away, mister. That was how the Pinnacle reacted to getting sprayed with the hose. He's like, no, stop it. Go away.
Just enough to piss him off.
So after that, so the final result, another Stadium Stampede match. Fantastic. So after that, Jim Ross interviews Britt Baker, which I'm trying to get behind Britt Baker. I just don't care. I think she's kind of garbage. I don't know what you guys think about Britt Baker, but I'm like, I Don't care.
I'm starting to like her. I think she's a little bit of becoming a necessity in that women's division. You know, what about you, Michael? I think we need a nasty women heel. She's probably the closest to it right now.
Oh God, yes. Like she could easily be a staple in that whole like women's division there. Like you said, man, they need like a vicious woman heel in there, and I think she could fit the bill pretty quickly on it. Like she's got all the tools in the box for it already.
More matches with her and Thunder Rosa.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to see like a best of 7 of that or something like that. Yeah, I think Britt kind of fell into this on her own too, with the matches where her nose broke, you know, and then her and Thunder had the big match and she got cut and she's bleeding, so she's kind of taken on this role naturally, almost kind of, you know. And then the DMD, you know, she puts on the glove. I kind of like that, man. It's a little gimmicky, you know, but you know, it's, you know.
I mean, if we're gonna do gimmicks, give me zombie Dr. Baker, MD, and then I would get behind it. Right now, I'm just kind of like, yeah. Well, I mean, it's her whole, I'm tough. Like, it's okay. I mean, you did get your nose broken by Sheeta, and, you know, you have been banged up a bunch, but...
I mean, she proclaimed herself the new hardcore legend.
Right.
She did do that. So, up next is, speaking of Thunder Rosa, she is taking on, let's see, who I call... Oh, this week it's Flop Jobber with a record of 0-3. I don't know her actual name. It's Flop Jobber. 2-minute squash match. Showcase Thunder Rosa. She's awesome. So glad that she's there. I think she's going to be... I think she should be a heel. Like, nerds to you, Britt Baker. Let's get Thunder Rosa in here. Great. Squashing flop jobbers and what have you. And then after that, there was an interview with Jade Cargill, and they talked about things like, you know, who's going to manage her, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Jade Cargill looks like they really are, but she looks scary. Like she looks awesome. So I really want her to just get in there and start doing things.
Yeah, definitely.
So after that, we have a promo with, or a video package with Darby Allin, which was very cool, kind of hyping up his match with Miro coming up later. And by later, I mean coming up right now, because the main event is Darby Allin versus Miro for the TNT belt. And
Miro Day.
This is just Miro Day, finally Miro Day. And I won't go too far into it because I know Miro is your wrestler spotlight later on, but this match was just 20 minutes of awesome.
That's okay. We can wrap all into this match, yeah.
So watching Miro and Darby Allin go at it for 20 minutes, Miro just destroys Darby Allin. And like there was this great moment where Darby Allin kind of knows that he can't win, so he kind of like looks at Sting and gives him a little fist bump, and then Miro just basically destroys him. Yeah. I don't know if he taps out or passes out, but Miro is your new TNT champion, and it felt important because they've been really doing a good. Like Darby Allin did a great job making that belt matter.
Yeah,
and so it feels like he's kind of. I mean, obviously Kenny Omega is still Kenny Omega, but I don't know. Miro is kind of looking like he's finally taken his place where he should have been this whole time in AEW.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think they're really showcasing Miro here. Probably, if there was a smaller belt for him to win, you know, kind of like starting at the bottom of the ladder and moving up. You know, I think that's probably what they're going to do. You know, it sounds like they're probably going to. You know, this is probably, the start of the push of Miro, because you know he made the point that he's coming after all the champions. Nobody's safe. You know, they're giving him a lot of screen time. You know, this Kip Sabian thing didn't last very long. It was kind of just a way to bring him in, really. You know, and so now I really think they're going to probably, you know, strap a rocket ship on him and go, because I don't think he signed there without thinking that or without being not promised a big push, but at least is going to be a champion. At least at least once, I think, probably. So, but I think it's time for them to probably give him the push, man, and go. And I'm ready for it, man. I like his size. I love the accolade. As his finisher. And I like a lot of his. He can be funny and quirky too on the mic, so that kind of helps out a little bit. But Miro decided the best Rusev was the Crush Rusev, the main master. So I hope they channel that back.
Crush
Rusev Machka.
So with Darby Allin versus Miro now, I think one of my favorite spots in that match, Allin goes to give him the shotgun drop kick, and Miro just takes it and just stumbles back a little bit.
Yeah,
it was such a good spot because he's so much smaller than Miro is. Because Miro is this huge dude, and so
he's
they like to tell the David and Goliath story a lot, but that size difference is just so vast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Darby sold this whole match. This kid bumps, man. You know what I mean? He bumps like Jeff Hardy, man. To me, that's only kind of comparison I know. I'm gonna say this one more thing, and then we'll move on. So what's next? You guys think Sting Darby tag team?
I hope not, because again, I know I've talked about this before, but I don't want to see Sting take a bump. Maybe he can get in there and do some punchy kicky stuff.
Yeah.
But if he is actually in the ring wrestling, I will be terrified the entire time.
Was that this week? Didn't Lance Archer come out at one point?
Yeah, that was this week. So to end the show, everyone comes out. So Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page come out and attack Sting, and then the Dark Order comes out, and then Lance Archer comes out to end the show, and it's get everyone in there. Why
Yeah. Everybody's saving everybody. It's like a round robin of saving people from getting hurt right now. Yeah. So. Yes.
But overall, even though Orange Cassidy was injured and that match was cut in half, this show is the best episode of AEW Dynamite that I've seen probably in 10 weeks.
It was great.
Yeah. It really was good. It really was
good. Yeah.
All right, so that'll be AEW. Thank you, AJ, for last Wednesday. So now I'm going to cover Impact from last Thursday. This was the go-home show to the pay-per-view on Thursday night, so I'm just going to try to run over this quickly. To start the show, Rosemary and Jessica Havoc go one-on-one for a number one contenders match. Jessica Havoc wins after interference from basically every woman in the locker room. So then Deonna Purrazzo comes out, who's the Impact champ, tries to take a cheap shot at Jessica Havoc, and Havoc plants her and kind of stands over her, and they're going to battle it under siege. So next up, they cut to a promo of Kenny Omega and Good Brothers. It's like they're kind of in the background, hyping themselves up. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say this was the part that I was talking about. That I said that it was one of my favorite things this week. But you go ahead.
Well, I think that was there something.
Okay, so at the end there, when the Good Brothers walk away, they give him the elite.
Yeah.
And he turns to the girl that's interviewed him. He goes, "You want some of this?" He goes, "Too bad. You can't get in on this. You're not elite. It takes a lot to be elite. We worked hard to be elite." It just goes on this for I don't even know, a couple minutes there, just talking about how you're not worthy of being elite. You can't do this.
Yeah, they're doing this new thing now with this three. They're hitting threes.
The threes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next up, there is a kind of a six-way match between all the guys that's going to be in the six-way match. It's 3 versus 3. Anyway, El Phantasmo ends up getting the win. So a few little small skits backstage. They have this thing called Swingers Palace in the backstage, and it's funny. Actually, it's where wrestlers come in and they bet with Johnny on themselves on the matches. So they go out and wrestle, and if they lose, they got to pay up. So just small little skits in the back. So Next match, W. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, attacks Willie Mack, tells him that he's going to destroy him at Under Siege. You know, a lot of looking into the camera with the intense eyes, and close-ups and stuff, so... But next up, David Finlay versus Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Kenny Omega interferes, and so that sets up a three-way with the Good Brothers and Omega, the Good Brothers with Omega versus Finjuice and Eddie Edwards. Ended up being a schmozzy finish, so nothing really happened. Disqualifications. Next matchup, Brian Myers. He just kind of fixed his little feud with Matt Cardona. So now he gets attacked by Black Taurus. So that's kind of like, I guess, going to start a feud between these guys. It was a little weird, but Myers ended up getting the victory over Crazy Steve. Black Taurus attacks him, and then so I guess that's going to be their new little feud. So, but anyway, not a whole lot happening for a go-home show. Me and Primo's talked about this before, man. These guys dropped the ball on go-home shows. So, but anyway, the main event is once again all the six-way contenders back in the ring to finish the match that get finished before. And so this time, I think it was Sammy Bay and Moose beats Sabin, Cardona, and Trey Miguel. So not really much of anything going on. They didn't, hype it too much. But yeah, Moose and Omega are going to wrestle later on. So I'll tell you later on. So but anyway, I'm going to skip the indies this week since we got so much, not really much going on. I'll come back to that. So Primo SmackDown last Friday, which was Go Home SmackDown, heading into WrestleMania Zombie Rack.
Yeah, SmackDown. First before I get SmackDown, I do want to say that Decay's entrance is so cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you said that, Primo. Back in the old days, Abyss used to be with them, and it was Abyss, Rosemary, and Crazy Steve. They've never changed that entrance. Yeah, the music is perfect. It was awesome.
It's great. And I was also thinking, too, because Rosemary's been at this for a while now. Mm-hmm. And I guess,
I seen her wrestle one time, and she blew her knee out. It was the only time I've ever seen her wrestle.
You mean, you think eventually they could, because she could keep the same gimmick and they can call her up?
As you were.
Anyway, so SmackDown Friday night go home show before the WrestleMania Backlash. Zombie Lash. Okay, so we started out the night with Jey Uso in the middle of the ring saying he's been left with no choice, but he has to handle some family business, talking about his brother Jimmy. He introduces the current reigning defending Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Reigns comes out. Tribal Chief, that's right. I talked to him, so this week he was not wearing my shirt. He was wearing the head of the table shirt. And he comes the head of the table to the ring. Roman addresses his situation going on with Cesaro before he gets to the family stuff. And then he gets to Jimmy Uso. Right before he can start talking about his issues with Jimmy, Jimmy comes right on out because he's not, he doesn't care. He's not going to put up with it. He has a shirt that said, I don't remember exactly.
Not a Nambi?
That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
So, basically, it comes down to Roman
almost rhymes with
looks at Jimmy and he's like, "Wait a minute, you think you can do what I do?" He's like, "You do think you do? Okay. Well, how about you challenge Cesaro? Let's see you do it." So then, basically, that's what happens.
There was somebody finally said,
that's what happened. He said, "All right, as my friend Jay Royster would say, bet." He That's a little inside thing for Royster. But anyway, Cesaro accepts the challenge, and it goes to the main event later in SmackDown. Up next, Tamina and Natalya dethrone Nia and Shayna. Golly! Oh, my goodness.
Throw Daddy out of there. I'm finally happy Tamina gets the belt.
Tamina got a belt.
It's her first belt?
It's her first belt, yep.
Yeah. Wow. How?
She deserves 0 belts, but at least it's not on Nia Jax anymore. Like it's
Nia Jax and Shayna. I'm so glad it's not on them anymore. I don't know how many thumbs downs from me they got.
Right, yeah.
Nia Jax gets worse every time I see her from the first time I saw her. Like she's new lows every time.
Yeah. She's so bad that Angel Garza stopped giving her flowers. So
gives them all the Drew Gulag now.
That's true. Right. We need to give them the Drew Gulag. That's right.
Flowers. All right.
All right, so up next we have Apollo Crews in the middle of the ring holding a ceremony for Commander Aziz. He's going to present first of all, the dude's already like 7 foot tall. Yeah, Apollo's like 5'5". So he's going to give Commander Aziz the Nigerian Medal of Honor. When he goes to give it to him, he's like, he makes him bend over.
Bends him down, yeah.
And so he actually, I didn't think he was actually going to be able to present him with it, but he did. That eventually did get interrupted, like any good wrestling ceremony. Was first interrupted by Big E, then Sami Zayn, and then Kevin Owens. So chaos ensues. Everybody breaks into a fight. Then they go off air. Next up, out comes Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler in a singles match to preview their tag team matchup at WrestleMania Backlash. Rey Mysterio goes over and ends up defeating Ziggler. Awesome. Yeah.
What a finish!
Right, yeah.
I mean, I love Rey Mysterio. He was on my top 5 baby faces. We'll get into the WrestleMania Backlash later. I haven't been excited about this. I like the Dirty Dogs keeping the belts, but we all know what happened. Anyway, moving on. There we had a singles match. It was just a random singles match with King Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura. So, and they at the beginning they kind of build it as 2 kings. So King is Strong Style and King Corbin, reigning King of the Ring. Mm-hmm. Well, Baron Corbin goes over Shinsuke, and then at the end, Shinsuke attacks Corbin and then steals the crown. So I mean, obviously they're gonna have a feud there, but yeah, he stole Corbin's crown.
2 guys are doing nothing.
He looks so happy with it on.
Crown theft for when you talk about Raw, because it's gonna come up again.
Right.
They're going to feud over that crown. Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the best wrestlers in the world, is going to feud over Baron Corbin's crown. I do not like this.
Backstage, we have Apollo talking to Adam Pearce about how everybody interrupted the ceremony, and he starts to say that he'll face one of them, and then Sonya Deville says, well, why don't we have a fatal 4-way? Adam Pearce says, you know what, that's a good idea. Now Apollo Crews is going to face off in a fatal 4-way with Sami, KO, and Big E for the IC Championship. Apollo walks out of the room. Adam Pearce looks at Sonya and says, don't ever undermine me like that again. Which is the first time in a couple weeks that they've kind of had that tension again.
Yep.
So main event, we have Cesaro and Jimmy Uso. It's going. It's not going in Jimmy's favor. But so he's basically Cesaro's starting to go over, and it ends up getting interrupted by Roman Reigns, and Jimmy gets upset with Roman. They're arguing because he interrupted. He's like, "What are you doing, bro? I had him," even though he never had him. But they're arguing on the ramp, and Cesaro gets the upper hand and attacks Jay. So then Roman backs out, and Jimmy gets laid out in the process. So, and then Cesaro is able to hit 2 neutralizers on Jay, while Roman looks on from the stage and does nothing. And that's how we go off the air on SmackDown to go home to WrestleMania Zombie Backlash.
Woo! Can't wait. Can't wait.
I love Cesaro. Like, huge Cesaro fan. He's so good. Like, yeah, he's just so good. I'm just glad that he's finally getting a shot at the belt.
Wait, he's getting a shot at the belt? Who is? What's his name?
Cesaro.
All right.
Moving on.
All right, here we go. Next up, so that's SmackDown. All right, so we're getting to the first of the pay-per-views now. I'm going to run over briefly what happened in Impact Wrestling pay-per-view Saturday night. It was called Under Siege. It was on their Impact Plus app. But just running over what happened. First match, Brian Myers beats Black Taurus. Taylor Wilde and Tennille Dashwood beat Kimberly and Susan, which is a.k.a. Sue Young. Next up, Ace Fulton Ace Austin and Madman Fulton won a scramble match, so they are now the number 1 contenders. W. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, destroyed Willie Mack like super hard squash. I think Willie might have gotten a clothesline in. That might have been it. So, but and then next match.
What about that return?
Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace had just won the tag titles like 2 weeks ago, where they lose them back to Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. So, kind of looks like there might be a Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering little feud kind of starting here, maybe. So. Anyway, El Phantasmo had won a shot at the X Division title against Josh Alexander. Well, Alexander retained. Deonna Purrazzo retained against Jessica Havoc, so she is still the Knockouts champion. Getting down to the last 2 matches, Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice beat Good Brothers and Omega. Yep. And then
I love their music.
Yep.
Oh, Finn Juice. I know. Yeah. I know you find yourself going, Finn Juice.
Yeah. It's just a good vibe, man.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, so a main event was a 6-way match. Moose takes the victory.
Moose.
So Moose is going to wrestle Kenny Omega. I got it written down here somewhere, just not seeing it. I think it's coming up. I'm sorry, he's going to wrestle Kenny Omega at Against All Odds, June the 12th. Not at Slammiversary. Slammiversary is going to be their first full fans, everybody back for Impact. So that was in July. Right, yeah. It could be. Joe's been silent on Twitter. Michael's asleep again. But Joe's been silent on Twitter, so not a whole lot going there. Yeah, well, you was. You're not anymore. You're back.
You're back.
So that's what. That's okay. That's what happened at the pay-per-view Under Siege. So now Primo is going to read the results of WrestleMania Backlash, which was held Sunday night on the Peacock Network. A very lame, awful. Nothing happens. Nothing interesting that I thought anyway. So we'll get everybody's what everybody thought. So. Primo, just run through the matches, read off a match, and we'll all just, say one thing or two about it. So let's get rolling.
I'm so excited to talk about WrestleMania Backlash that I'm going to go back to Under Siege. I want to just bring up one thing real quick. I did, because I actually paid close attention to Impact this past week. Morrissey and Willie Mack, we had the return of Rich Swann.
That's right. Yep. Yep, he returned. So looks like possibly, I don't know, a little weird there. Maybe if he's coming in to wrestle with Big Cass. But yeah, we hadn't seen Swan since he lost the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this, guys. I know.
Let's get into it and get over with.
So my dude Sheamus comes out and he offers all the fellas backstage an open challenge. Out comes this is the pre-show, by the way. Pre-show, Ricochet comes out. This might have been better than what was on the main card. Ricochet and Sheamus fight on the kickoff, and Sheamus clearly defeats Ricochet. And I want to add to that both, because they had this happen on the kickoff and on Raw, where Sheamus and Ricochet faced off. But is Ricochet done with tights? Because he's just wearing black jeans now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's transitioning into heel Ricochet, and that's what the black. I don't know. I have no idea. I did notice that as well, though, which I take him more seriously now that he has black jeans on. I don't know why I take him more seriously, but I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so next match we have actually on the main card is Rhea Ripley retains her title in the triple threat women's match for the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka and Charlotte. Do you guys obviously saw that coming?
All three of us said the same thing about that match, and that's exactly what happened.
Right. I mean, Rhea just got it at WrestleMania. She's not going to drop it that quick.
No.
So, next up we had the first ever father-son tag team champions.
Don't care.
I don't.
I just don't
Like
care.
I said, I love Rey Mysterio.
Michael, what do you think, man? What about this tag team?
Storylines.
With children?
With children, yes.
Yeah.
I can't take Dominic seriously.
Same.
I still see the Ray and Eddie storyline where it's Eddie's kid.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was Vicky and all that garbage?
Excuse me. All right. So we have next up Bianca Belair defeats Bayley. Saw that coming too. Neither one of the women were going to lose their matches. I mean, even though they did put up a good match there. Bianca and Bayley did.
They did.
So
they really did. I like that match.
I don't like Bayley's hair. It looks awful.
I like it.
I didn't know, actually, because I guess I haven't paid attention, but Michael Cole mentioned it, that she shaves her opponent's name in the back of her head now? Under her bob haircut?
Mm.
How many times do you do that, though?
Well, she hasn't wrestled in, like, a while.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's just before Mania, I feel like.
Yeah, gotta let it grow back a little bit and then have another match.
Yeah, right.
Give me dippy promos.
All right, so we gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Damian Priest defeats The Miz in a lumberjack match. And the lumberjacks themselves were not other wrestlers from the locker room, but instead they were Batista's friends from his movie. I don't even remember what the movie was called.
Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of zombies. The only cool thing about that, and I learned it today, was that hey, you're back just in time.
Yep. Zombies.
Thank God.
So obviously the whole idea just sucks. There's not even a real lumberjack match, right?
No.
At the end of the match, Damian Priest goes over, wins against Miz, right? Apparently, there's also reports that Miz may have actually suffered a knee injury in that match. We don't know for sure, though.
He suffered zombie bites in that.
But also,
right?
yeah, he was eaten by zombies. I saw it. He posted Instagram. He's now a zombie. So, but like I was getting back to the only cool thing, which I learned today, which one of the zombies was none other than Sky Too Hottie.
Oh, was it really?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That makes it.
I automatically thought, okay, NXT recruits. I seen Joe Gacy. He was one of them. I was kind of like trying to watch like who was all going to be a zombie. So, but I think something might be happening here. I'm not sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest tonight is
Michael was there. He was a lumberjack.
he was.
So,
Look at my shirt.
so how was it ending the match against the Miz there, Zombie?
He tastes delicious. And we made sure to give him a knee injury.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So is Miz going to come back as like a zombie now? Like
Oh my god.
that's going to be his like new
Nice job,
gimmick.
man.
He's
That
going to
was
be
great.
zombie Miz, and his finishing move is going to like him biting people
The skull
and.
biting
not.
finale. That's what it has to be.
Oh no!
Like you
Oh, great. Skull biting here. There's the finisher.
Oh man!
I am
Okay,
on board
guys.
with this.
Got to move past the zombies now.
Please do.
Leave in the past. Never,
Pass the zombies.
never, ever bring it up again, WWE. Okay.
Dude, I hope they bring it up all the time. I'm going to bring it up every single opportunity that I can.
I'm just gonna
So-
randomly text you guys zombies.
Zombies.
Zombies? Remember that time that Miz got eaten by the zombies?
You think they're gonna have a lumberjack match again anytime soon?
Oh, God.
Oh.
More zombies? Anyway, next up we had the
Hottie
triple
is
threat
available?
match for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Bobby Lashley retained against Drew and Braun. Clearly, I didn't. Besides the Mysterios becoming the new champs, we all knew how all these championship matches were gonna go.
Yep.
I mean, if this was another one of these championship pick'ems, your boy would have retained his title. So,
This is true.
I would have picked Mysterios to go.
I mean,
over,
we can't, we wouldn't be able to lose on a draw. So,
That's valid.
we'd have to go down. We'd have to go down the time like me and Dirty did.
What was it, 11 seconds?
Oh man, that was
It
close.
was 14 seconds.
To hear
about
Primo,
all I
you
can
think
do.
he blew us both out like it wasn't even close.
Well, I wasn't.
Winning is winning. You get the dub. You're the first champ. You got to own it.
That's true. That's true.
I was basically
Next.
the Miz in this situation, and you guys were basically the zombies.
Doesn't relate. Carry on.
We are over
So
it.
that's what happened there.
You know what happens, AJ, when you bring up zombies on my show?
Do you?
Do you?
Oh man.
Please, Primo, let's go. Just go.
All right, Roman Reigns, main event. Roman Reigns and the match against Cesaro. Roman Reigns
I
wins.
love.
Go ahead, AJ.
I love this match. I
It
wish
was a
we
good
got
match.
This match.
Yeah.
I wish this would have taken place in front of a live audience because Cesaro would have been the most over babyface in the entire company had that happened.
I like how every time, because the whole arm thing, Roman was working the arm, and every time he gave him one of those uppercuts, he came back and he's like,
Like he's taking away his number one weapon.
Right.
One little subtlety I want to talk about, and this is no reason why I love wrestling. And this might be looking into it too much, but I love wrestling. Dang it! So I love like what Roman does here. I mean, Roman can go, but I love what Roman does here. When Roman has a big match, I've noticed this the last 3 or 4 matches. He comes out geared up. He's not wearing any gimmick shirt. He's coming. He's oiled up. No shirt, like ready for battle. Like he always, what I'm saying, doesn't sell any type of prettiness, any type of logo. Nothing. He wears the Acknowledge Me shirts. The head of the table, all that stuff. But big pay-per-view nights, he comes to the to the match, like he just looks ready to go to me. Like he is like a big fight every time. And
it's like there used to be a big match John. Now there's big match Roman.
Yeah, now big match Roman. Yeah, it's like he doesn't take his shirt off unless it's a big match. That's the kind of the feel I get from him.
He's just like, all right, I'm out here to do a job real quick. I mean, it's not even worth taking my shirt off. This is right.
Yeah.
Man, imagine like if you compared Roman Reigns where he is now to how he was like 3 years ago, and you were like, "That's going to be the same guy." Would you even believe the difference?
No, absolutely not.
Me and I still hated him. So
me and AJ talked every night we worked together about we're so sick of Roman being shoved down our throat.
Hated him.
Well, we also did used to. Go ahead.
Yeah, we did actually. We used to say about how he needs to turn heel and he would be the best heel ever.
Yes.
And look at us being proven right.
I know. Look at me saying Roman is a big match guy. Like, come on,
You know,
he deserves it, man. He's earned it.
Do you guys remember when they tried to do the Ryback rebranding? Where he just went out and just destroyed people and then left. I told AJ, I'm like, that's what Roman Reigns needs to be doing right now.
Only not as Ryback. Ryback looked like a Chomp from Super Mario Brothers.
Like a chain chomp.
Yeah, chain chomp. Thank you.
Another thing too is I like this feeling with the champion. Like I feel like Roman could hold this title for 10 years now. And if he ever loses, it's going to be a huge shocker. No matter who it is,
they're really building it up like he is the man. Like basically, he really brings it out for big matches, like you said, and like he talks about. He's like, no one can do what I do. Yeah. So, and like I said, I've said it many times. My only gripe with this is that he's not holding the WWE Championship. Because to me, like I said, the Universal Championship is not equal, even though they think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I don't think there's anyone on the roster right now that I want to see beat Roman Reigns. As much as I love Cesaro, people know I don't want to see him beat him. I don't want to see Shinsuke beat him. I don't want to see Finn Balor beat him. Cesaro.
Yeah. I know you want to see Baron Corbin beat him, all right? We all know
I would love
you're a
to see
Baron Corbin fan.
I want to see Kevin Owens beat him. That's just
Speaking of King Corbin, I get so I like when they have the King of the Ring. And I like when somebody wins and they become the King, whatever, King Barrett, King Sheamus, everybody, King Regal.
Macho.
I just feel like, but a year later, you're still King Corbin. It really gets played out. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
All right, so Primo, that was WrestleMania Backlash. Next up, Raw. So this is the Raw right after Zombie Lash this past Monday. So, what happened on Raw Monday night, Primo?
On Raw, show opener, we have the almighty Bobby Lashley comes out, still the champ. Lashley and MVP celebrate his victory over Jordan Braun. Then out comes Drew once again. I like Drew McIntyre, but I'm just like, there is a certain heel in me at one point that I'm just like, all right, dude, back of the line. You got it. Like,
so you've had your shot repeatedly.
But anyway, so MVP makes it clear that there was an open challenge to anyone in the locker room except for Drew and John. No, Drew and Braun.
Oh, Braun.
Those guys.
Yeah, those guys. You guys. Braun and Drew were the only ones in the locker room that are allowed to accept the open challenge to Bobby Lashley. Moving on, we had AJ Styles defeat Elias due to a disqualification by Jackson Riker getting involved. Elias attacks AJ while Omos is distracted on the ramp. So that's leading up to a little feud there.
So are they just trying to quietly turn AJ and Omos face?
I don't know.
This is a very facey kind of.
It's a weird thing because
I don't know, man. Maybe they're waiting to put them in front of fans and see what happens. I don't think they know.
I personally don't want to see the tag titles on Elias and Jackson Ryder. I'd rather see Elias get a singles title and Jackson Ryder be like his Alex Riley that stands beside him. So
I love Elias. I'm a huge Elias mark.
I like him too. Has he won a belt before? Did he win an IC title?
I feel like he has.
I think he had the IC title.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So, but I just feel like he's way more of a singles guy, you know?
Yeah.
But also, because I'm jaded and I want Bro KO to be tag team champs.
I don't think they're going to make it. It makes me sad.
So, yeah, we'll get to that. Because next up, we have backstage, Matt Riddle. He facilitates a meeting between the New Day and Randy Orton, brings them there together to try and get things sorted out. He tries to get Randy to apologize to Kofi and Xavier for RKOing him last week. Because Matt Riddle likes to make friends, and those are his friends, and Randy Orton's kind of messing that up. Anyway, speaking of feuds, we're talking feuds tonight. A good one, not on my top 3, but it is a good one. 2009 rivalry was renewed between Kofi and Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, they had a singles match later that night. We'll get to that later. Alexis Playground. You got the new women's tag team champs there, Tamina and Natalya. And my favorite thing about this, I didn't listen to a word that was being said.
Okay.
I watched Tamina the whole time. Her facial expressions were hilarious. Because Alexis is talking to the doll, and Tamina's just like so freaked out by what's going on. Like, she's like, why are we here?
You know,
But-
I love Natalya Hart in the ring, but she's got about as much charisma as Brett does. Anywhere.
No,
Brett.
for sure. I agree with you.
I love Natalya Hart. She's an amazing wrestler, but
I mean, you're right though. She's like very zombie-like in her promos, but not in the ring.
you think she could have been a lumberjill?
Yes. Yes.
Next up, Angel Garza and Drew Gulak for like the 3rd week in a row.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He beats him again. This time, he makes Drew eat the rose. So
Yeah. I'm glad he didn't put it in his butt again. That was weird.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping that was going to be his gimmick.
I was saying, Dirty really all about the butt rose.
Yeah, man. Just pull the pants up, toss a rose in there,
and kick him in the butt.
The butt rose and him the hoofing him in the hole.
So we had the match between Kofi and Randy up next. Kofi defeats Randy Orton due to the distraction by Xavier Woods and Francesca. Francesca 15 or whatever it is. So the thing is, Randy's mad after this, right? And it's to the point to where Randy Orton looks like he's about to strike again, but he's like, you know what? He just leaves. But then Riddle, even he is ticked off too, and Riddle, you kind of see him seeing Randy's side of things here. Back to at the beginning of this match, though, I laughed so hard whenever Randy Orton's coming out to the mat, his entrance, and he gets up on the turnbuckle to do his thing, and then you got Matt Riddle behind him, just doing it behind him, and you could just see Randy Orton just the whole time. He's just like this kid.
I know, it's almost like he's trying to hold it back, man.
Yeah. So anyway, and also Matt Riddle sings this song to him. It's hilarious.
Right.
Tamina and Natalya defeat Nia and Shayna once again. Okay, moving on. Sheamus defeats Ricochet, like we just talked about. Now, I even put on here, but you can't see it, but it's on my notes. I even said, is Ricochet not doing tights anymore?
He got to have gear that goes with his new hat and coat.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot to say that he stole the cat and coat. Yeah.
Yeah, he was dressed as Sheamus.
But it's the same principle.
Right.
He didn't come out like Lauren Bagora.
Right.
Me potatoes. Like Trying to talk like Sheamus.
Next up, we had
Impression.
Asuka. Asuka defeats Charlotte Flair. And
Who stole me potatoes?
Asuka defeats Charlotte. Aren't you the one that met? Or you saw Sheamus in a bar?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, never.
Who was that?
No, that was my buddy that was in the he was in a bar fight at the.
That's what it was. Yeah, somebody.
They
Yeah.
were the bar. Yeah, buddy of mine was in that. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Damian Cross defeats John Morrison, but before this match happens, as John Morrison is walking to the match, he says, "I don't know if you saw what happened on Sunday, but I feel for the Miz. I dedicate this match to the Miz."
The Miz is dead.
So the Miz is dead. The Miz is dead.
Yep. They ate his brain.
By the Talia Hart.
Yeah.
She was in the show.
He had a dedicated match to him, and he still lost to Damian Cross.
It was Scotty Too Hottie.
Wasn't John Morrison drug under the ramp by zombies? Wouldn't he have?
No, behind the barricade.
How?
No, Johnny Drip got away because
It's Johnny Drip Trip.
Out of that.
it was Johnny Drip Drip.
That's the shaman of sexy.
Yeah. He doesn't get bitten by zombies.
That's the Monday Night Delight.
Monday Night Delight.
The Monday Night Delight.
The guru.
Extra sexy to be eaten by
I forgot about that, yeah. And then so we have Bobby Lashley's open challenge for the main event. And out comes Kofi Kingston out to answer the challenge. I actually popped for this because he came out, he's like, he's put up the 2 for the second championship. He's got his second WWE championship. And once he gets in there and starts the rings, sorry, I heard you do that.
Yep.
MVP goes, hey, we never said this was a title match. By the way, ring the bell.
Right, yeah.
So they end up fighting. There was a little assist by Drew McIntyre. But Kofi wins, man. Kofi went over the champ. He went over Bobby Lashley and Randy Orton in the same night. I enjoyed that.
Using the same devastating maneuver. To finish
The schoolboy?
Right.
Exactly.
The vicious schoolboy.
That was a nasty roll-up.
I want someone to have the schoolboy as their finishing move. I would like to see.
It should have been.
I was watching Damien and Mysterio last week, just taking notes. Oh, got it. Roll.
They're so good at schoolboys.
AJ, it should have been Matt Strikers. He was the teacher, and he missed it. He missed it. He missed it.
With his Argyle jocks and Matt Striker.
Yep. All right, Primo. So that is how
that is WWE wrapped up besides NXT.
All right. So I'm going to go over NXT real quick. Awesome show, everything that went down here, and then we're going to get into the rest of the show. So show started off last night. My girl, Toni Storm. Yes, sir. She came to the match. She's got rocking some new tights, looking as only she can look. She wrestled Zoe Stark, kind of the storyline continuing between their storyline. The beginning of the match, Toni puts the boots on Zoe. Man, she is spanking her basically through the whole match. Storm, she starts to Zoe kind of starts to make her come back. A little back and forth match, and then Toni wins, but she wins with a finisher I've never seen before. It's it was like a hip toss, right? She put her on the hip toss, and came back, and as she's coming down, she kind of grabs her and bulldogs her head around the neck to the ground. So it was
cool, but I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of was like, oh, that's it. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, that kind of finishes off her. Then at the end of the match, Frankie Monet comes out, a.k.a. Taya Valkyrie, a.k.a. Miss Johnny Drip Drip.
That's right.
So she comes out with her little dog and, doing it's a little Frenchy kind of gimmicky vibe, I guess, with the dog. The dog's kissing her on the lips and stuff. Anyway, she's going to debut next week. What? What did I miss? What I missed?
This is a great reading of what that was.
Hey, what?
Oh, Frenchy dog.
Frenchy dog.
Frenchy. There's mustard. I mean, I don't know. Anyway. So next week, Taya. Yes, I'm ruined. All right, so backstage they go to El Legado Fantasma. They are confronted by Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. That they haven't beat them yet, so they go to the ring, and they're going to go to the ring later for a match. So
Timothy Thatcher's Espanol.
Yeah. He said something in there.
He said something about El Gato and like in Pantalones. He's like something about he's like he needs a cat. So,
yeah. It was like something really funny. And Ciampa called him Toothless Timmy too. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah. Toothless Timmy.
Oh, it's great, man. Which is so funny to me because I've seen Thatcher wrestle a lot, man. He's just a ground and pound, like no nonsense guy. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, next up, Camera Grimes. He pulls up in the parking lot and he throws his keys to Jake Atlas and says to park it up front. And he said, "Oh, sorry, up front's already been taken by Ted DiBiase." So he like goes crazy. He's like, what's going on? And then so Cameron tells Jake, he's like, "I'll kick your butt later." So anyway, so they're set up to have a match. Another quick little backstage stunt. Candice and Hartwell, the tag team champions, are getting a massage. They're kind of talking about they got cucumbers on their eyes and stuff on their face, and they're laying there. They're talking about how nasty Dexter Loomis is and stuff, and he's one of the ones doing the massaging, rubbing their foreheads and stuff. So they're kind of continuing that.
And he's basically dissing him.
Yeah,
she's like he's garbage, and like he's just like, oh well, screw me then.
Yeah. So he just kind of like walks away, So anyway, but then next up, they're putting on a screen. Next week is going to be where it's being billed as Prime Target Cross Balor 2 next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good one. And then next matchup is Cameron Grimes and Jake Atlas. Grimes runs a video package before the match of it's $1 Million Man's music in the back. Money. Yeah, but it's all like bad things that happen to him, like slop being poured on him, like totally just like the bad things that happened to him.
I loved that.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a good match. DiBiase comes out at the end, distracts him. Atlas rolls up Cameron. Atlas gets the win. Cameron then chases DiBiase kind of to the back, and they get to the limo. And there's a limo there. Cameron trying to open up the door. $1 Million Man rolls down the window and says something like, "You are no Ted DiBiase," and does his customary and rolls up the window.
"Don't you, Ted DiBiase!"
That's 2. That's not bad. Hour and a half of it, 2. Yeah, not bad.
2.
Next up, Pete Dunne interview. He basically like Miro. He says he's coming for all the titles. And so basically nobody's safe. Next match starts off Imperium's Wolf Alexander or Alexander Wolf. Which is it?
Alexander Wolf.
Alexander Wolf. Thank you. He goes against Killian Dane. Killian Dane wins. Post match Imperium. They go to stand up in front. They, no matter what, they always do their thing in the back. Well, they do. Wolf goes to do it, and then they attack him. So looks like he's getting kicked out of Imperium. No Walter, by the way, just the other 2. So next match is El Legado Fantasma and Thatcher and Ciampa. This was a long match, longest match of the night. It was even longer than I swear. There's probably 3 or 4 commercial segments in it. It felt like. So anyway, we get to the kind of going back and forth. And then GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans, comes back and attacks.
And
soon. Anyway, so Legado Fantasma wins after they throw Ciampa back in the ring. GYV after beating him up, and they get the pin and get the win. So they say now that they beat every tag team in NXT. So next up, they go backstage again. Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae once again. They go to pay for the massage. The card's being declined, and then and then like this. I don't know. Like it got too confusing, kind of for me to write it all down.
She was like, "You have charges here for flowers and chocolates and more flowers."
Right.
So basically, all that's happened in the past couple of weeks. Candace sending these flowers, tricking Indy.
Yeah. So she's kind of figuring that out. So she's like, "Oh, he really does."
But it's like you would think that Indy was going to be like, "How could you?" But instead, she was like, "Wait, he does love me."
He does love me. Yeah. Yeah. So it's still kind of odd. So anyway, moving on. Next up was Sarai, the new Japanese sensation, the Warrior of the Sun. They are billing her as. So she gets a squash match win basically over Aaliyah. Next match is the debut in the ring of the Hit Row. Top Dollar. Who better than Top Dollar? Nada. Who better than Canyon? Yeah. Oh, it's number three. Yeah. Top Dollar. This was their first. I'm picking up steam here. So they beat Davari and Tony Nese. This was their kind of open match. They did some little different camera angles with these guys. They were all kind of walking by talking. They were like, "Oh yeah, this is B-Fast. We coming for you, baby." And then the next guy comes up. He's like, "Top Dollar, Top Dollar." So they're going back and forth. So they were trying something. I know, yeah. So anyway, that was their debut match, and then the end of the match, Swerve said that he's watching tonight's main event, and he's coming after whoever ends up winning. So anyway, so next up, graphic on the screen: Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes. Next week, they're going face to face. So it should be. I'm all in it for this match.
Darn you, Ted DiBiase!
I know, I love that. Darn you, Ted DiBiase! He's like rolling on the ground, like.
How is this match going to work exactly?
It's not. Ted's going to bring somebody in.
Ted's going to bring somebody in, or Cameron's going to become like his protege. He's going.
Yeah, he's like, look, kid, I'll help you out.
Yeah. There's got to be something to this.
I know how they should end it. Zombies. That's what they should do.
The answer to everything.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies with gold on.
$1 million zombie.
All right, so tonight's main event, Johnny Wrestling versus Bronson Reed. Zombies hit the ring, eat everybody. Match is over. NXT's been canceled. They tear down the cage. They eat all the cameras. It's over.
We're losing viewers the more we say zombies.
I know, you're right. No, but fantastic main event. Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano. Awesome, pretty cool cage match. Primo talked about it's the first time we ever seen the cage be brought down like that, with like 4 separate pieces. They still played
really cool.
The music, but that was pretty cool. So anyway, Bronson kind of fights off some distraction from Austin Theory, and so match goes on. They played up all night that this was probably Bronson's last time. He was going to have to go to the back of the line, 14 years. I seen him wrestle on the Indies too a lot. So, so this guy deserves it, man. He's, I love his body style, it's kind of a throwback to the old days. Not everybody's a chiseled, cut, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy can go, man. He deserves it. I don't think he's going to hold the title for very long. He seems a little transitional to me. But I think but it was awesome. So anyway, Bronson gets the win and new North American champion. They brought out the fireworks for him at the end. Their show goes off. He's holding the belt up. He's crying. His wife's there. Awesome story. I seen this coming. I thought the way they were billing it as the last time. I'm like, okay. So finally gets his win. So NXT's picking up steam, man. I like what's going on there right now.
So I have a question about that. So, usually when somebody like Johnny Gargano loses the title after holding it for so long, they get called up. But they're not really calling anybody up right now. And you think that's because there are no fans in attendance?
Probably.
Because there would be no there would be no reaction to that call up, or you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
It'd be wasted if they did it.
I mean, would Gargano play well on the main roster? Because you've seen a lot of people that were hot in NXT that just did not transition well to the main because no one knew who they were. It was really
Finn Balor.
True. Let me put this to you guys. Who does better on the main roster? Adam Cole or Gargano?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
That's Adam.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Gargano, but
Same.
Adam Cole, hands down.
Baby.
Same. I feel like they're both the same type of wrestlers. Both can talk, both can go, both are solid, but Adam has more upside, I think, as far as...
So what if it was DIY that went up like Ciampa and Gargano?
I'd be more
Face or
interested in that than
heel?
a single.
Well, if that were the
That's how they
case,
book
then
them, right? Like
Yeah.
well, I mean, look what happened to
Bailey.
what I can't even remember their names in WWE now. Never mind.
It's on FTR.
The Revival.
Yes.
Revival.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Revival. Look what happened to the Revival.
Oh, completely
Why can I not
wasted.
think of their names?
Like
Yep.
my biggest concern about bringing like Gargano or Cole up is like they could ruin a surefire thing, and that's why I just mentioned Bailey. Like they ruined Bailey as a face. How do you do that?
They ruined
Yeah.
the Ascension.
For the Ascension.
Right. I don't see Gargano. I think he's an NXT lifer. I'm going to just say
Yeah,
that.
so
me too.
yeah, I was using or Gargano was an example, but they haven't called anybody up lately. And I was just curious. Do you think it's because of the pandemic and all that?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
you're right about
That's
that.
what
Yeah,
Yeah, like you guys said, that like huge crowd pop would be kind of wasted on a virtual thing.
right.
Yeah. I kind of keep waiting on Velveteen Dream to hold. I feel like
I heard that he was around.
Yeah.
Like I saw something that said that he was around.
Oh, good. Okay. Good deal. So that is the big, huge recap of all the wrestling that went on. Now we can kind of get into the heart and soul of this of the wrestling.
Did we talk about the zombie match?
I
We
think
did a little bit.
No, we did not. We did not. Yeah, let's just move on.
Should we bring it back from the dead? Is what you're saying?
Aaron,
Good, got him.
Got him. All right, so next up, this is going to be this is a segment of where I pick Primo's brain. I ask him a question every week, and so just to kind of learn more about his fandom. So, but tonight we're going to all three. Everybody here, so Michael, AJ, and Primo, you guys are all going to answer this question. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're going to go to the graphic, and then we're going to come back. So, question of the night is: who is your first wrestler girl crush? Be right back. Hang tight. All right, Primo. First up, man. Who's your first girl crush?
Tori Wilson.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my wife's blonde. Got a thing for blondes. So
You're like a decade younger.
in between Tori, I go down the line here. Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, basically that whole generation. Lita's my girl. Trish Stratus. So
I'm actually surprised you didn't say Lita right off the bat.
okay, I'm not going to talk. I'll talk about why later. off the air.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
I'd say Miss Elizabeth.
Okay.
I loved Miss Elizabeth. She was just great. Everything about her was just like, just class. And like,
Sure.
Because then you had like her opposite of Sensational Sherry at the same time, right? So it's like the night and day. Sherry probably physically looked more appealing because of the way she dressed, but Elizabeth just had like that air about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right, next up, man, let's move to our kind of question that our main discussion of the night. Let's talk about it here. Dropkick discussion of the day is our top 3 favorite feuds. Now, this is a feud that we, that kind of made us enjoy wrestling, kind of really got us into wrestling. The feuds that kept us interested, the ones that we were really, really wanting to see the blow off for, all that kind of stuff. So, it could be any 3 favorite feuds. So we're going to start with our top three. So we're going to start at the bottom, number 3. Michael, start us off, man. Number 3, your favorite feud.
Number 3 of all time, Owens and Zayn.
Oh, okay.
I cannot get enough of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting. And
Great.
One of my favorite moments in the 4-way match between Miz, Cesaro, Owens, and Zayn. I was watching this with AJ in the room. They ring the bell.
We don't know each other.
Zayn dashes across the ring, and Haluva kicks Owens to start the match. And Miz and Cesaro were just like staring at them, like, what just happened?
Right, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep.
AJ was just like looking through my windows. I don't know why he was there, so I just tried to.
We don't know each other. It was just weird.
This
I
guy likes
wanted to watch some wrestling.
I mean, yeah.
He's the Marcus Smart.
Primo, number 3.
Number 3 for me, 2003, actually, this feud went on. I really enjoyed it. It was between Kane. It was right after Kane unmasked, actually. Kane and Shane McMahon. This was great. So they had the last man standing match, ambulance match. Kane handcuffed Shane McMahon to the corner post and electrocuted his private parts with a car battery. Shane McMahon kicked Kane into a dumpster that was on fire. He also launched a limousine into a truck and wrecked it. So I mean, this whole thing, it was a spot fest, like the whole thing against Shane McMahon, and I was very impressioned. I was 14 years old. So it was great for me. I like that. Kane and Shane McMahon.
Nice.
Oh man, Kane is one of the all-time greats, and I totally understand. That was a great feud.
Right.
Love seeing him get in the Hall of Fame, man. Awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
And the mayorship.
Absolutely. That's it.
Yeah.
AJ, number 3, buddy.
So, the one that I almost put on just because I had no real exposure to it when it was actually going on, but so there's this other podcast. I know I've talked about it off air a bunch. It's called OSW Review.
Yeah.
You know, Michael, even though we don't know each other. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's three Irish guys that are they review old pay-per-views and they are brilliant at it. But so they highlighted the Greg Valentine and Rugged Ronnie Garvin feud.
Yep, there it is.
They did the whole entire run of Rugged Ronnie Garvin and Greg Valentine.
Wow.
I wanted to put that on there, but I didn't.
Yes.
So
Hands of stone.
I had to mention it.
Love
so
it.
my number 3 feud of all time is my number 1 babyface versus my number 2 heel, Sting against Ric Flair.
Nice.
It defined WCW for me. As a kid, Sting was the babyface. Ric Flair was the heel. You know, I think one of the Starrcades, 1989 or something like that. They had that Iron Man match, which is great, which Sting won.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then their feud lasted. Yeah. Well, was it Clash of Champions?
No, I'm saying they wrestled a ton on Clash of Champions. Like that was
yes,
that was when Clash of Champions took off. Was that during that big feud?
The Sting and Ric Flair, and you know they even ended WCW when they fought on the last Nitro, and
they fought the first one too. So
yep.
Yeah, they did, but then Luger ruined that because Luger's terrible.
But he had that sweet collarless shirt that was always buttoned up to his throat.
Yeah,
that's how it was in the early '90s. So number 3 for me is Sting and Ric Flair.
That's a good
okay. Well, AJ, you must have seen my list because my number 3 is Sting and Flair as well. So that is my number 3. I'm going to throw an honorable mention right there because I hope it gets mentioned between one of you guys. I don't know, but just because the importance of history, it's not to me personally, but I take her back and forth, and I went with Sting and Flair because of that was the wrestling that I watched the most. But you know, my honorable mention was Hogan Andre, just because the significance it made to wrestling.
Yeah,
at the end.
definitely.
You know, you can't really talk about wrestling history without that storyline because minus when Hogan won the belt from the Sheik the first time, the next big run, babyface run back to getting the belt was when he went against Andre. You know, so everybody knows that story. So anyway, but yeah, I'm right there. Honorable mention with that, Sting and Flair, number 3. All right, Michael, number 2.
Number 2 is kind of going with something Primo said earlier. Kane and Undertaker.
Good one.
Brothers of Destruction.
Favorites of all time. 2 giant dudes that move like they're small dudes. Mm-hmm. Kane's debut with that Hell in the Cell, the whole thing, just from all the way from the beginning to the
firepower
destruction to the end. My God, those 2 are so good at storytelling in the ring. Kane, especially because he's got a mask on for over half of it. Like, it's just so good. And yeah, that first Hell in a Cell where he just rips that door off, to me, I was like, this is amazing. I need to watch.
My God! It must be Kane!
They both have superpowers, too. Don't forget about the superpowers.
Kane superpowers on Monday. I don't know if you noticed that. I was a little upset.
Right.
And there wasn't a DQ.
Wasn't a DQ, yeah.
It wasn't, no. Superpowers.
Primo, number 2, brother.
Number 2 for me. All right, this is around the same time frame as my other one, actually. 02, 03 time frame. They both had just returned. At the time, Shawn Michaels was not wrestling. He was doing a light stint in the NWO. Triple H just came back off of another quad injury. They were looking like they were going to reform D-Generation X. Best friend turns on best friend. This enters into a 4-year-long rivalry, which they had these awesome matches. Anytime you saw Triple H and Shawn Michaels around each other, they just were going at it. So Triple H and Shawn and HBK is my set number 2, and it's because of the story that they told at the beginning of this rivalry, and also because I'm a big fan of DX. So it's like a whole thing for me.
AJ, number 2.
It's the Billy Gunn crotch chop that the key member of DX. So my number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
It goes along dirty with what you were saying. So this feud had everything. It had my first wrestling crush, which is Miss Elizabeth. Same thing with Michael the Stranger. The Mega Powers, Hogan versus Macho. Number 2 feud of all time. Oh, the greatest handshake ever.
Brother!
Ever. So this feud, one, it was a year-long build, and Hogan obviously as the super mega babyface, and Macho as the number 2 babyface, and Macho living in Hogan's shadow, and then Miss Elizabeth gets into it, and they end up, hating each other, and it culminates, I believe it started at WrestleMania 5 and culminates at WrestleMania 6, I want to say, or 4 or 5, I can't remember which.
6 was Hogan Warrior, so it wasn't that one.
So it must have been, I thought 7 was Hogan Warrior.
No, 6 was Hogan Warrior. That's when Warrior won the belt. So it had probably 7 then. Probably 5 to...
Or 4 to 5.
4 to 5, yeah, there you go.
And this is the only time in my life that I've ever liked Hulk Hogan. I didn't like him as a kid, but when the Mega Powers explode, I was the huge Hulk Hogan mark for a year of my life. That's the one and only time, so that's why it's the number 2 on my list.
Okay. Yeah, that's that one's definitely legit. All right, my number 2 is probably, you can probably say it might have been the hottest feud in the 90s, the Attitude Era. Stone Cold and Vince, man. Come on. Yeah. It's Stone Cold and Vince. That's number 2, man. That's number 2. That's my number 2. That's my number 2.
At least 3 of us have the same at number 1.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as you started building up, I was like, why?
Yep. I know.
Backups.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be one of the top two, honestly.
Right.
It's spurred the whole Attitude Era. You know, how many times have we seen Stone Cold beating up Vince in a hospital bed? You know, and the pans, like that whole feud, just absolutely. You tuned in every Monday to see, you know, the whole corporate crap going. I mean, it was just the height of the '90s attitude was Stone Cold and Vince. So sounds like you guys might agree with me. But Michael, who you got number one?
I mean, they've just been trying to recreate that feud since it happened, so you know they might agree with you too. It's one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
I've got an honorable mention for my number one, and that is Jim Cornette versus Vince Russo.
Nice.
A true blood feud that has been going on until this day.
Yeah,
Cornette hates Russo.
You can get caught up on it every week on social media. All you got to do
It is so good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, since someone took my number one, I'm going to go back to a historical feud that actually got me into really old, like, you know, not old, but like NWA wrestling, right? And that is Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll jump in with that, Michael. That's my number one. It's Dusty Flair. Touche. Yeah, Dusty Flair, man. You know, one of the best ever, man. Yeah.
I mean, I cannot get over how ridiculously good Dusty Rhodes was at the whole business, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, his booking decisions at the end of his run were questionable. I'll give him that, but like, the dude could work at his size, and he was just the most charismatic dude out there.
Right. Yeah.
One of the greatest of all time.
I agree. All right, Primo. So I guess Stone Cold Vince number one for you.
No, Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So they only main evented 3 WrestleManias together.
Right, only 3.
Yeah, you know, it's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, and the Texas Rattlesnake. I mean, come on, my guy Stone Cold and my other guy The Rock. It's just, even to this day, you think Stone Cold and The Rock, and he was like, I'll go back and watch that a million times.
Oh,
yeah.
So
yeah, I'd watch it now.
Yeah.
Come on, I'd watch it now. AJ, number one.
Hold on, let me go pick up my notes real quick. Can't exactly remember who I had at number
This is
one.
bound to happen sooner or later.
I had Stone Cold versus The Rock for my number one feud of all time. Primo and I both extolled our love for WrestleMania X7, and that was the culmination of it. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm going to say is 2 over mega baby faces, an iffy heel turn at the end of the match, but what can you say that it hasn't already been cited? It's the greatest feud of all time.
Yeah, it is.
That backstage segment of Stone Cold telling The Rock, he's like, "I have to beat you." That is,
all due respect.
Good.
That's one of my favorite interview sections. Interviews ever was The Rock and Stone Cold.
All right, so that is our Dropkick discussion of the week. Kind of the same. This is probably the most similar we've all been. So pretty cool there. So, all right, guys, it's time to thank Rowdy Energy for sponsoring the podcast here today. Man, appreciate those guys being on. Cheers.
A little bit of bubbly.
Also, to Coastland Apparel, use that promo code BirdTV for 15% off there. So, all right, guys, let's get through the rest of the show here. Did you guys watch the Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring?
I did.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of Nick Gage. I knew this whole story before, so I was excited about this one. You know, he's become like a folk legend in indie wrestling, and when I say it, I mean it.
Yep.
You know, he has one of those entrances, and it's so basic, but he comes out to "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica. So the adrenaline's flowing when that hits, and he comes out. He's, you know, they showed some clips. You know, he comes out. Fans are pushing him. He's pushing people back. I've seen fans smack him. He'll smack them back. Like that's how they all get fired up, man. You know, and like he loves it, man. Like that biography was such a good depiction of his like he's a folk hero, like a legit folk hero in the indie scene. Not, you know, I mean, you guys seen the story, the bank robbery, you know, the drugs, all that stuff, and.
My favorite thing on that, specifically the bank robbery, is when John Moxley says you wear a bandana over your face every time you come to the ring, but when you actually rob a bank, you don't wear a mask.
You don't wear one, right?
You don't wear a mask.
It was cool to see Moxley, the other side of him, because I remember the whole pizza cutter deal from years ago. That was the first pizza cutter incident.
Also, on that, Moxley, did you know he ran in on Nick Gage like 3 days ago?
No, where?
Yes.
Did he really? Oh wait, no, I did see that.
I didn't hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was, but basically 3 days ago they had a confrontation. They had another confrontation at Spring Break back in April, but Moxley went over. They had a little bit of a tussle, and he went over Nick Gage. This one, 3 days ago, Nick was able to hit him with a DDT. So basically, Nick Gage wants him in one of their old school death matches. And people are like, how far will Tony Khan let Moxley go?
Let John go, yeah. Who knows, man? Yeah. Might have been in his contract, you know, before that he can do outside stuff. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Interesting. But how cool was the David Arquette? I'm going to send you guys the link to that match. Y'all need to go back and watch it. I think it might be on IWTV. I'll go and look. But it was a Beyond match, I think. I'm not sure. Beyond Wrestling, but that was a pretty cool little story.
Yeah.
I remember that happening. I remember Arquette piping off at Gage after it was all over and stuff. So, yeah, he got scared, man. Like
you could tell he got freaked out.
There's a whole documentary about that. I think it's called like You Can't Kill David Arquette.
You Can't Kill David Arquette. Yeah.
Seen that?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. What about the Shawn Michaels biography? Was that good? I haven't watched it yet. What about you?
Shawn Michaels biography was awesome. I mean, I own every a lot of the WWE produced ones, and his other one. It's very similar to the one the WWE did. But I like how this one goes into his Undertaker stuff whenever he was coming towards the end of his career, and also his NXT role now. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's pretty good. Even I'm not a huge Shawn Michaels fan. The guy is incredible in the ring. Don't get me wrong. It's just I've never been a fan specifically of his, but his work is top rate. But even for someone who's not really that interested in his outside life, I've heard it's really good. So I'm actually pretty interested to watch myself.
They get into his drug abuse and stuff like that. Really, they talk about how I don't know if it's his wife that says that Triple H literally saved his life a few times. So, I
can see that.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So next up, man, let's talk about ROH and AEW. They're going to have full fans for their next two pay-per-views coming up. So That is awesome. Thank God. Yes, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And then, what do you guys think? Hell in a Cell, probably the last pay-per-view in the Thunderdome?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah. I would say, yeah, that's probably right.
Because right after you got SummerSlam, you'd imagine, right?
Yep. And you can tell they are ready to start doing shows again, get on the road, start getting that revenue up, just from the corporate standpoint. But I imagine if you were a professional wrestler, you'd want to be hitting the road too, because that's where all your merchandise sales are at too. So.
Yeah, and then you think of real life current events with the new CDC guidelines and stuff like that. They can do this. So
right. Yep.
It's definitely realistic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also you gotta at some point WWE has to stop being stubborn and follow the other companies, because they're doing it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then word is Kenny Omega is going to defend the AAA title against Andrade. So this should be Andrade's first kind of match back, I guess, so to speak. So I'm probably willing to bet
Andrade takes it.
Andrade takes it. Yeah, sounds like, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't watch AAA, but I never see Kenny talk about it. Besides, every now and then it gets mentioned. So it's like he's not really representing the AAA brand very well. So why not go give it to somebody that will?
Yeah.
It seemed like Omega did it just to kind of get the accolade, the check in the box,
right?
And then,
to be the belt collector. Yeah.
I mean, he is a world-renowned champion, so Andrade beating him is a pretty good mark for him too.
Yeah. Eric just calls in the chat said that Money in the Bank is the pay-per-view after Hell in a Cell is rumored to have fans, which is good. So
that's a good pay-per-view too.
Yeah, it is.
So let me I'll wait for AJ to get back in here for a minute. So we want to talk about too. Zelina Vega is speaking of Andre, rumored to return. It sounds like they might be bringing maybe a few people back that they've let go here. So
I heard the same thing too. I don't know exactly what is going on with that, but I have heard that rumors swirling around that she may be returning.
Okay. All right. So enough zombie talk. So we'll talk about no more zombies.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't recall.
All right. So I've seen this crazy Dolph Ziggler stat. The stat is Dolph Ziggler has the most matches by anyone currently on the WWE roster. He has 1,426 matches. Anybody want to guess who number 2 is?
Kane.
Randy Orton.
Wow.
Active.
Oh, active. Okay.
Active, yeah.
I know. At one time, Kane was like the most televised matches or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Randy is 36 matches behind Dolph. So,
wow.
So he has 1,390. So,
how long has Ziggler been active for now? It's been like
ever since Spirit Squad, yeah.
That was what, early 2000s?
Yeah, I will say this. I was at the pay-per-view that it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, that they debuted. I don't remember which one it was. It was like one of the off ones, like Judgment Day, Armageddon, something like that. Mm-hmm. And they came to the ring for the first time.
Mickey! Jimmy!
Yeah, right.
Mickey! Kenny was like the only one that could do anything. And then,
yeah.
You know what's really funny about Dolph Ziggler? You see him on TV, and he doesn't look like he's like that big of a dude, right? Because he's next to these giant other guys. When you see him at a house show, he's huge. Like,
right.
It is like surprising. Like, takes you like, whoa.
It was a couple of years ago, but I was watching Raw, and they showed, at the time, Dean Ambrose. He doesn't look like that big of a dude. Like, but he was a segment where he walks down to a subway station, and yeah, and he is towering over everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, whoa.
Right.
The one that always like threw me really off was I had the chance to see Luke Harper before he passed, which was in do a live show, and for some reason his AEW name is slipping me right now.
Brody Lee.
Yeah,
Brody Lee. Yeah.
Brody Lee live once. That dude, and you would never guess it, was incredibly athletic and just enormous at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I was on, the ramp, and he, walked right by me, and I'm average height, right? I'm, 5'9". This guy is seriously, a foot taller than I am. I'm like, oh, my God. But, yeah.
I feel you. That the same height.
Enormous.
I couldn't imagine. I did that. Not a wrestler, but I met Chuck Liddell one time, and I didn't think he was that tall, but he is.
Oh yeah.
I looks tiny next to the Iceman.
All right, guys. So next up, let's talk about our favorite champ right now. AJ's not here at the moment. Trying to get him back in, but I don't know if he's going to make it or not. But Michael, who's your favorite champ right now in wrestling?
PSAs.
Gotta go Miro. Miro, I'm a huge Miro fan. I just want him to have all the belts and then never lose them because he's my guy.
He's back.
My wife even will say things like, because she doesn't get into wrestling at all, but she loved Rusev, right? Especially like, the handsome Rusev character.
Oh, yeah.
He's so charismatic. And so he's got it all, man. He's got the athleticism, he's got the charisma, he's got the build, he's got the speed, he's got it all. He could be the champion for every belt, and I'd be totally fine.
Well, my favorite champion right now is also Roman Reigns. He's dominant. He's going to be dominant, and we share his T-shirts. So, he's just. I feel like I don't want the belt to come off him anytime soon.
Yeah.
And he is convincing me that he's just the man on, like, SmackDown goes through Roman Reigns right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Agree.
Roman is one of those guys that you just felt bad for him when they were pushing him as a face because you knew he could do so much more. And it was just sad watching what they were doing to him because, again, he should have just been a heel, dominant champion the whole time. But at least they got there in the end, I guess.
All right, so thumbs up and thumbs down about what's going on in wrestling right now. So thumbs up, we're getting fans.
Absolutely.
Thumbs down.
Yes.
Thumbs down. My thumbs down has been the same. I don't know. I'm going to say thumbs down on Impact not announcing fans yet. Well, no, they did for Slammiversary. So, yeah. So I don't have anything. Fans, thumbs down. What about you guys?
I see. Thumbs up for me right now. Obviously, fans, yes. But also for me, Tuesdays and Wednesdays right now are killing it. NXT and AEW, they're like must-watch wrestling right now.
Yep.
And SmackDown still is better than Raw. And my thumbs down is still Monday Night Raw. I wish they'd drop it. Like, I don't get it, dude. Like, I look back at, we talk about these feuds, right, that we just were our main discussion tonight, and I'm thinking back of all these feuds that I can clearly remember as a teenager and as a younger kid, and I'm just like, why aren't they doing stuff like this?
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Yep, totally agree too, man. All right, so we got one more thing here before we head out, man. I'm going to tell the story of my Sandman story. So AJ said, thumbs up for me, main event, Cesaro, and licensed music. The Trogs, the Pixies, more of that, please. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, before you tell your story, can I give you my thumbs down real quick?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. We missed it.
No, you're fine. My thumbs down is WWE's long-term booking. And it has been for over 10 years now.
Right,
so
yeah.
Exactly like Primo just said. They cannot tell a story right now, and I don't know why.
Right.
Thumbs up, though. Yeah, you're getting fans soon, and that's the huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me set this up for you here before I show you guys the video. This is my random wrestling story. So I'm at Black Label Pro in Crown Point, Indiana. ECW Sandman is there. He's like the headliner. So I'd seen Sandman tons of times at shows, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd never been. He had never poured beer in my mouth, for probably the 20 shows I'd seen him before that. So anyway, show up for Sunday afternoon, Black Label Pro. Sandman is coming to the ring. My buddy Chris is recording this video. So Sandman's coming to the ring. So first of all, when you first watch the video, watch the guy in the beginning. The first guy he pours beer into his mouth. This guy, like, the music's pumping up. He's like all excited. He's clapping. Sandman hands him the can of beer, and he starts smashing it on his head, man. It's so funny. You guys gotta watch it. So anyway, as he's moving closer to me, I catch eyes with him, and I'm like, oh, he's coming to me. Like I felt like that, like, oh, he's coming to me. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I'm like, oh, this would be pretty cool if I recorded it. So I pull out my phone, and my buddy Chris is recording this now. So right when he starts pouring, the video's not on me, but he comes to me. He's pouring beer in my mouth. It's shooting up out of my mouth, right? Because I'm like, and I'm holding the video too. I'm gonna try to see if I can go back and find the video, and I'll show you guys later of him pouring it. So it's the video of Chris watching him pour the beer in my mouth, but it's also me recording myself. So it's kind of a funny little story. So
that's hilarious, though. That's awesome.
So I'm going to show you guys the video here. It's about a minute long, so I might let it run like twice so you can kind of get a good, funny idea. But watch the guy in the beginning in the white shirt, and then the guy at the end is me in the blue shirt. So just kind of check this out. So.
Hey everybody, this is Primo from Sit Down Marks. To catch the full Sandman video, go to twitch.tv/DirtyBird33. Now back to Sit Down Marks.
All right, so that is the Sandman story of Black Label Pro, man. I watched that video just to laugh at the kid in the white shirt more than anything. So that is pretty funny. So that was awesome. My Sandman story. So. Hope you guys enjoyed that, man. It was pretty funny. Like I said, I locked eyes with him. I'm like, oh, he's coming. By the way, I haven't drank a drop that day. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was a hard Saturday night, so I was taking it easy, and that beer gave me a small little buzz anyway. But
I don't know if the guy in the white drank a drop either. He was excited to get that beer.
Yeah, he was. But I couldn't help but keep laughing at him. So, but that'll wrap up the show for the week, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This has been probably our longest show yet, I think.
2 hours 27.
Yeah, we had a lot to cover. So tune in with us next week. We're going to be covering our usual wrestling, and then we're also going to be talking about our top 5 favorite managers or valets. So that is the topic for next week. I want to give a big, huge thank you to Michael, sir. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for being on, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun. I don't get to talk about it a lot these days, so I really appreciated it.
Always welcome to come back and talk some wrestling.
Absolutely, Michael. You are welcome.
Brother, here to talk about it.
All right, brother. Thank you for being on the show. That is episode 10. Sit Down Marks. Once again, we are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and coming soon to Sportinarium Online Radio. So stay tuned for that, man. Excited. We're getting all these all out to all these platforms so we can be in your ears at any time of the day. So thanks for supporting the show here, man. We appreciate it. AJ, the Yeti, is out. So he's done for the day. We'll see you guys next week, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the Dirty Bird. That's Primo Silver Fox over there. Michael signing off. Thanks for being here, buddy. We'll see you guys all next time, man.